Hi, we here today. We doing the thing. See what we got going on. We got to get it kicking it. Give me a minute because I'm going to have to set this thing up. So, you know how I do it. Get this thing live. Come on now. Try to get this thing on for a while. Get this thing on live just a second. We're going to do this thing. Let me get this thing set up. Let me get this thing set up real quick. Okay, we're going to get this thing set up. Hello, how you doing? I'm just setting up shop right now. Give me just a second. I'm just setting up shop. Don't leave. I got to send out notifications because YouTube doesn't send out notifications like that for me. So I have to send them out. So don't leave. If you're on, stay there because I'm just sending out, letting people know that I'm on. Okay, we are back. Okay, we are back now. We are here live. Now we are here live. Okay, we are back now. I am now back. Back now. I am now back. So it's funny. Last time I wore this hat, Bam scored 83 points. Very importantly, the Heat have been winning. And apparently Dwayne Wade had a word with him. But what do you think about it? Let's talk about it. Are you feeling the Bam scoring 83 points? Or do you think that it's Adam Silver's manipulation in NBA? Do you think that it was hokey? What you come down with it? Um, I think personally, I like Bam Adebayo a lot. However, I'm gonna say this: if it was his girlfriend, Aja Wilson, I would believe it. Bam ain't no 83-point guy. I don't know if Bam would score 83 in the gym by himself. I like Bam a lot. And he scored like 35, 40. I'm cool. What's happening? How you doing? But 83 points. But it also makes Wilt Chamberlain's record even more powerful because it was a non-guard. Imagine if a guy that's not traditional does something like that. It makes you respect it even more. That's what has happened. I know some people who are LeBron James fans are saying, well, he surpassed Kobe and all like that. It's a different way of hitting it. But it also shows that this is a record that is something that people think about. And dare I say, it makes him more You might could say Will Chamberlain is the GOAT because the reaction has been as such. It's been as such that people have taken it to go out of their way uh, to comment. And there's been nonchalance with the Victor Wanyambas and different people in the NBA. Why do I think people, basketball heads, are indifferent? Because you've been so numb because Adam Silver's era of basketball where people score 50 points like it's no big deal. I remember when that used to be like 6 o'clock news. Now Cat goes for 50, ain't no big deal. He go for 60, no big deal. 70, you'll raise an eyebrow. That's how numb it's become. But they're trying to pimp this game like you got the best players, best skill. It's very hokey. Very hokey. So I'm not a fan of it. And I let it be known. I think today's NBA is crap on a whole. But I think that, if you're watching it, you want to hope. But the Washington Wizards are garbage. I think Udoka actually had the best quote: 40 free throws in the Washington Wizards. That's all you need to know. Shaquille O'Neal didn't get 40 free throw attempts in the game, hardly. I think if Shaq had gotten actually the calls he's supposed to get, he probably would have averaged 35 to 40. That would be believable. So, you know, mm, people going to talk about David Thompson scoring 70 plus. And, you know, think about the guys who didn't have a 3-point line. Bam was 7 out of 22. So the game has changed. It's changed. But it shows you how tough it is to get that kind of record. You got to have a heck of a game. I mean, I got excited last night because Kawhi Leonard scored 45. So, But again, it's what the powers that be want. David Stern wants it like this, and that's what you get. You get this kind of NBA where scoring's at all time high, defenses at a low, and you're bound to get something. I think it gives the everyday cat hope, but at the same time, it cheapens the product in a way too. You think about that dude who's the Mac, the one that's won the 3 slam dunk contest. Cats are doing stuff that is so, like a reality TV show, and that's what it's become. So the illusion of great, I'm not saying that you still got to be a great athlete and everything to make it to a level, because ask Bronny James, he'll never know what it's like to even score 83 in a gym by himself. But just saying. So this is reality. So anyway, yes, this was big news if you're a sports fan, basketball fan. So this is what's up. So anyway, I will be here for a minute. I am here live today. I will be back probably Sunday. Yeah, Sunday I'll be here. Question mark for Saturday. Definitely Sunday. Maybe Saturday. May give me a 50% chance Sunday. So we're gonna be here for a minute today. See if anybody shows up. What kind of vibe? Let me know what's on your mind. I had to talk about Bam Adebayo though, because that's like the big one. The other big stories, of course, is Iran and Trump don't really want to be over there, and he don't know what he's doing, and he didn't messed up, and that's not gonna end well. And we already know that he's gonna lose the seats. Ain't all he should lose though. But anyway, that's what we're talking about today. That's where we are. Hope that you're nice and comfortable. It's chilly where I'm at. It's a windy butt day. All chilly. You know. So much from March. Well, it depends on where you are. Depends on where you are in the world. Depends on what your situation is like. So we are just in the midst of it all. We're just kind of in the chill mode. Just reading some notes I got. If you care to know what's going on, just reading some stuff. Hope everybody doing good though. Mm-hmm. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're in chill mode. So we shall see what we doing. You know, we hope you're good. We hope that you're good. We hope that you feel good. Um, just in chill mode. Keep a hat on your head and stay nice and warm and comfortable. So we shall see what we got. We're gonna be all right. Mm-hmm. We're gonna see what we got. So anyway, yeah, I think I'll be here for about. I'm gonna give it a little time, see if people come through. Hope everybody's doing all right though. Keep hitting those likes up though. And if you come on here, come on, hit the likes up, and feel free to share the site. Uh, you know, come here for a little while. I never know what's gonna go on, so we just here live right now. So yeah, I expect. Do I expect there'll be more people coming for the ruckus? Oh yeah, I expect there will be. There's a lot going on in the news. I could have talked about the Rihanna thing. It's a wait and see with that. So if I get a lot of people, I may talk about that. I don't want to talk about no Oscar garbage because that's all political anyway. You know how that goes. So don't get excited about the more fake award shows. Um, Everything with Iran, you know good and well they shouldn't be fighting no wars. You don't want to do nothing stupid, but that's what happens when you got people that have agendas. You already know. You know how they get down. So anyway, yes, we are here live today, and I will be on for a little while. I'll give it a little while. I'll see if people come through. I never know when to guesstimate when people are gonna come through. You just never know. These things can be very problematic. So I'm not a good educator. Tried to read rooms, I don't know. But we'll see what we're working with though. We shall see. So yeah, it's good day so far, chill mode. A lot of stuff going on in the news. Epstein ain't going nowhere. Ain't going nowhere. Could have talked about that football player with his chest who unalive. That thing was crazy. I might have to do a video about him. I don't know what's going on with folks these days. These streets is wild. I have no idea. Have no idea. You just don't really know. So, okay, if someone is sending some hearts, please come on and do some talking because I would love to have conversation today. If you want to talk, this is the forum to come alive and speak now for hold your peace and we can talk. See, we got some. Please hit the like up. Please hit those likes up. So we will see what we got. Yeah, and I got asked about the extra special screen of the Michael Jackson movie. I think that if you start putting teasing people, you're pushing on agendas. I don't. I wouldn't want to see anything before it's time. I'd rather see it. I can wait. Yeah. The thing about Janet Jackson and Jermaine, well, she might not. Yeah, might not be feeling it. I don't think everybody's gonna be feeling for different reasons. I think it's gonna be huge, but I don't know if I do a part 2 and 3. Um, I don't know. I think you gotta be very careful. You know, subject matters and stuff. There's gonna be a lot of money made, but there's gonna be a lot of kind of, you know, powers that be definitely wanted to do a jam to his career for sure. And that's a fact with, there's ways that you go about doing stuff. But they make so much money off of them that it's a double-edged sword with what you're looking at. So just saying. That's what we got so far. So yeah, a lot to talk about, you know, a lot going on. But this Bam Adebayo thing is like crazy. And some people are thinking that they're LeBron fans and they're glad he passed Kobe and all that. I said, look, that they one don't matter to the other. I think the Heat are trying to attract some potential free agency. I think it's a good slick move by Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. Would I put anything past anybody? No, because I never would have thought the day that a Miami Heat with a Pat Riley behind it would be stat padding to hype something. And you can make that argument. There's a lot of ways you can go about this. I don't want to turn Bam out of bio into a Rodney Dangerfield figure, but that's where it's going. You get no respect. You gotta be so careful with these sort of things because so very careful. Very careful. Gotta be very cautious about stuff too. So just all I'm saying. Just words of caution. A lot of stuff going on. Lots of stuff going on. Yeah, you got unnecessary wars going on too. So, yeah. Well, I never know what anybody's thinking. So this is just one of those things, though. What's happening? How you doing? It was cool. How about yourself? Windy, breezy day. That's the best way I can describe it. Did get out today though. Had some crepes, which I like. Crepes are cool. Pancakes weren't having, but the crepes was nice. How's it going with you though? You doing all right though? Yeah. So we're just looking to see if people are gonna communicate. It's good to have folks come through today. Hmm. All right. Well, that came and went pretty quick. I never know. I was like waiting for conversation and kind of came and went. So yeah, that's what's up. Like I said, I'll be on here for about a little while. And if I see somebody talking, I will talk. We're going to see what we're working with. If people communicate today, we'll be on for a little while. If not, I'll pretty much just call it in a half hour. I like how they always talk about welcome, remember your privacy, but the guidelines. I said, shoot, nobody don't come on hardly. I used to be a hotbed. This place had a hotbed. I don't know. Depends on what your content's about, and sometimes people roll left and right. So I never know. You know. So I never know. Never know. What's up? Well, yeah, I've been on here for like 20 minutes, so I sent you a note. Told you I was gonna come through. One of a few times I catch you. I'm here today. 50% chance Saturday, definitely on Sunday. So yeah, because I'm working on some videos. I got projects I'm working on, but I wanted to let you know I was gonna be here. How you been? I didn't want to come here and didn't see you. So how you been? Well, I'm glad to hear that. Do share that good news. That's great. I like hearing that. Like Tony the Tiger, doing great. Yeah. So let's see what we got. Feel free to commentate. Give me some questions if you got in the code. As far as what? Acting? That's kind of an odd pairing because they two different types of actresses. But I will say I'll play along. I'll play along. Nicole is what you expect an actress to be, but she never quite reaches her heights. So I gotta give Jamie Lee Curtis the edge. Because Nicole Kidman to me, they both are what I considered second tierish, but Jamie Lee Curtis has done enough where she's been in the game forever and a day, and she moves me a little bit more. But they both in the second tier boat where, you know, oh, Nancy Wilson. Lena Horne, my grandmother used to always say couldn't sing. Lena Horne did some runs which were cool. Etta James was gut bucket, but she had style, which I love her to bits. But Nancy Wilson is like the female version of Johnny Mathis. And Etta James is probably my favorite of the three, though, if I had to pick. But Nancy Wilson, style wise, it's funny. I was listening to Gut Bucket is like deep down south. So Bobby Womack, Otis, the gut bucket is like, cut, 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 cut. You know, like when you listen to Al Green, I'm so tired of being alone. It's in it's in the gut. It's like when if Jackson 5, Who's Loving You? That's where Michael had the gut bucket. That's that old blues. See, and then I gotta explain gut bucket. Then you ain't then you ain't heard a lot of it, but that's gut bucket. When you heard Who's Loving You by Jackson 5, I, Johnny Mathis. So if you ever listen to Chances Are, you'll see what I'm talking about. Because it's the styling, it's the tone. It wasn't your typical, like Nancy Wilson was like a precursor to what Anita Baker, Patty Austin, but Sarah Varnish, but more smooth, stylish, a smooth singer. What a difference a day makes. So you hear Nancy Wilson, that's one of the smoothest. Uh, Basically, you would say the jazzier version of Dionne Warwick. Yeah, but Nancy got her own lane though. Nancy bad. But gut bucket music is that down home South Bobby Blue Bland. It's that gut bucket where your mama was making some cooking some pork chops in a skillet. Those light skinned black folks. I got a funny Johnny Mathis story too. So kinfolk of mine that live in Pennsylvania, Johnny Mathis took one of our cousins way back in the day on a date. No, this is light skinned. Black people come in all different backgrounds. You live in New York, you should see that. I had relatives in New York that looked like the barge, you know. And black folks come in all backgrounds. That's not to say that they don't have it in the DNA, because chances are, if you're African American born in America, you got a white cousin. Yeah, you see it all the time. So there you go. They weren't though. Johnny just had that good hair. Patty Austin was light skinned and they no. Father was white. Had that good texture hair though. Then had some good jiric juice, but it was natural though. And it was like some French mix. It was a lot of mix going on. Well, they too much of the same person, basically. They used to sing together. They used to hang out. So I mean, it comes down to who you prefer, really. They both were versatile. They were both sisterhood. They both were Arista Ruckers. They both predated Whitney Houston and dealt with Clive Davis. Um, Both feel I thought had more. How do I say it? She had more slow cuss that I like, but I loved Hyman's voice though. The Cool in the Gang wins that. And I love the Gap Band, but if I have my top 10 bands, Cool in the Gang's coming before them because you could take the 70s era of Cool in the Gang, you could take the 80s era. They got them beat. I like the Gap Band a lot, but Cool in the Gang got them beat. She was very stunning. And sometimes that can work against you. People prey on your beauty and your inners and your aura. So it's a very dangerous combination. hmm Some people don't for different reasons. Sometimes you have dysfunctional growing up as a child. It's tough. I say it as a black person, it's tough to want to have children in a society that's so racist. I mean, I get that. Um, Two different types. I listen to more Hyman, but Bassie was a heck of a vocalist, though. Let me say that before anybody comes in here, she could sing. So, but two different types of vocalists, two different stylings of what they did artistry. But I take Hyman because I listen to her more. But Bassie ain't nothing to sneeze at though. Two different types of artistry. So that's how I look at that. All right, now let's get this conversation. Keep on going. I'm probably be on for another half hour if I get enough conversation. Something you cook. Oh, that's a great question. That's a great one. I think, believe it or not, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't eat it though. It was a shepherd's pie, but I made it with. I had to make it one time for the chicken for some other. As a daycare, I was cooking, and yeah, and I didn't even realize it with the mashed potatoes, with all the stuff. I just made it work. Well, again, if you're creating food, it's like any form of creativity. So like it's music or you're directing or you just have to like keep it simple and find the right ingredients and balance. So I would say that. Probably when I made like a stir fry. Yeah. A wife who doesn't clean. I don't think that in today's time, people working more, cooking is not really, I mean, you can figure out ways to put something together and how you do it. But if you don't clean, that's a disaster. Well, what happened was I can make it vegetarian style. So I had green beans or I had corn on the bottom, and then you just layer it with the potatoes on the top, and you can make it any way you want. Has some, can have it layered with, you know, veggie meat, tofurkey, and you just layer it in the oven. And when I figured it out, I was like, oh yeah, because it's one of those situations I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But if I got an oven and if I got what I need, I can, yeah. Cooking is like playing an instrument. You gotta stick to it, and if you do it, you can get it. It's how you hear the chords. It's like everything comes together. Make that thing connect. It's all rhythm. It's all in the wrist. So that's how I would describe it. You can make, you create. You just have to allow yourself the engine. That's all. A lot of times, spend time people think I don't like them. I told a story when I was a kid. I remember my mother had an ex boyfriend. I think it was his son's daughter-in-law. Their house was a nice house in Louisiana because I had a crush on one of the girls there. I'll never forget that weekend. But anyway, I was a kid. The crib was slamming. I still remember the Aretha Franklin album that the woman had on the corner. But they let the dog do their business on the about the carpet. And I thought, oh God, that was just so oof. That was so anticlimactic. I didn't know what to do. That nearly brought tears to my eyes. How you spend all that money, have a nice home and all that, and then you just let your dog just that was but those were the days and I don't like them. So I feel likewise. Okay. Well, we're gonna see what we got up in here. See if anybody's gotta say anything else. Yeah, well, they're high maintenance. Hmm. Oh, well, I don't know. No, well, no. Messiest as far as personality, not in their homes. Most people I know who are like that, they're one or two extremes. They're either messy in the home or they're like meticulous and they can be a problem. It depends. I can't really answer that. I've seen extremes. Yeah, you tend to think of people that. So anyway, the same as I thought about him before. Racist, bigot, piece of trash. You know why he did that? Because he didn't want to deal with the Epstein thing. You watch my videos. Shoot, I talk about it all the time. Watch my videos. Ain't nothing changed. Distractions. Believe me, if he could put Dolly Parton's chest on his forehead, he would to keep you distracted. He's putting people's lives as he did before with the pandemic. He just repeats himself. He makes some of the most boneheaded moves with no plan B. He's hoping that he'll somehow be a hero in this windfill of, but all he's doing is benefiting people. Well, Epstein Island is where he's distracting. You ask me a question, I'm answering it. It's all about that. He doesn't want to have to be accountable, and he got women who want results, and he's stalling, and he ain't got no plan B. And people are going to eventually get tired of his shenanigans because the whole thing with ICE, it's just a disaster. It's like, who didn't see this coming? Yeah. So nothing has changed. Nothing will change until he home. But the damage is done. It says a lot about people who support that kind of idiocy, though. That's what it shows me. You don't mean to tell me that halfway educated, enlightened people are going to go and get some old pervy white dude who's racist and set in his ways and has no bearing. Yeah, he is. I don't care where the cat's from because he's everywhere I turn around. They got him everywhere. He went on an international tour. He tours more than Sade has in the last 20 years. I kid you not. Kid you not. It's embarrassing beyond recall, but that's what they then all got seduced by him. He was pimping everybody. Hmm. And most of the people got a lot of money had to kiss his ring. So hope they happy. That's where we are. Yeah. Well, they took him out early, so that's what's up. So that's what's up. I don't know. I do. I had no idea. What you mean? Did I see the biopic? Are you talking about how some people have gotten to see the thing? No, I'm waiting to come out in April. I don't have no. I've heard things already said about it though, so I come to kind of it's come out for certain people. They have some people going to get to see it early of it. I'll wait till April 24th or whatever. I'm in no hurry. New edition. Lionel Richie. Mm. Oh well, you wouldn't. I would because they're for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and they still performing and they got hits. And I'll tell you another name that should have gotten consideration, but he never did was LL Cool J. I don't understand for life of me how he didn't get acknowledged. He would have rocked the Super Bowl. He got hits. You can have Snoop Dogg up there and Dre. You can take the anthem out. I don't think you have to have the anthem. You're not supposed to perform it with the flag on the field. No way. I think that's they made this make up patriotic crap, which ain't got nothing to do with nothing. How patriotic are you if you're sending people off to war? Um, the only thing that could change to increase the rankings would be if they promoted their players more. I think that the quarterbacks get all the love. So, you know, that's about it really. They're the number one sport though, for a reason. So so just want to see with that. Okay. Like I said, 50% chance I'll come out Saturday on here. Definitely on Sunday. So be on the lookout. I might come a little bit early on Saturday. We'll see. Nobody. I don't want nobody to do that. And they gonna do that mess with AI. I don't want that to happen. You can't recapture that. Okay. You can do movies, you can't really recapture that. They won't because it's not it's not you can't do it. I wouldn't want to see anybody do it. I want to see artists being respected as they are. You can do a remake of a song or something, but I don't want to see that already. That's what they do already. And they cheapen up. We want to see people create their own lane. That's what I want. No one's gonna bring back what Janet Jackson did back then. That's not gonna happen. Because first of all, people don't dance no more like that. They don't treat it the same thing, you know. I wouldn't want to see nobody's record. You might could add something as a song or something, but you can't recapture that. You can't. Dancing is one thing, and that's working to itself, but trying to recapture the artist template. See, I got to tell you like this: no one's gonna ever come out and sing like. I don't really care for her cover versions. She has good choreography. She's entertaining, but I wouldn't pay a dime to see her try to recover some anybody's records. No, get some new songs or some cover songs and do it in a smooth jazz way. Yeah, but just that her, what she does with the buttons and the whole. No, so I don't really like hearing people do covers because unless you're gonna do like Luther Vandross or Aretha Franklin, leave it alone. So that's all I gotta say about that. Let's see. Who do you think? Um. Well, obviously from the church, but I think he was definitely inspired. The timbre, the timbre of Dionne Warwick, Aretha Franklin, with a nod to Patti LaBelle, and obviously there was a Sam Cooke aspect to what he was doing with the male singers in the church. So that's what I gotta say about that. Two different types of acts. You comparing a band with a vocal group. Not fair. Not fair. I don't put bands and groups in the same arguments. But if I was to go based on the songwriting and the power and the impact, I'm taking the Miracles. But I like the Commodores better. But Smokey Robinson's pen was the Commodores are the band, and the Miracles was the group, the vocal group. Bands playing instruments, vocal groups, instrumentalists. So that's how I look at it. Okay, so we're getting near the home stretch. I'll probably talk for a few more minutes. I've been on an hour, so I'm gonna do. The messages ain't coming through. So do I think an OG artist stands at a mega comeback? I don't know what that means. I don't know what mega comeback means. No, they're not coming back. So please don't ask those questions. They're not coming back. They are legendary artists. Their audience respects them, but they're not coming back. And why I say this, the way I say it is this: people got this delusion that these acts who haven't been relevant to modern era in what 25 years are gonna somehow miraculously get some hot songs. And no, they're not coming back. They're not. They're not. And they're female artists, and female artists don't usually get second, third chances. 20 years later. Just like Katy Perry's not coming back, and um, there's certain artists. She had a hit song. She didn't make a comeback. She didn't come back where there was a whole embrace with an album, and she also was doing movies. Let me break these two down since you asked. Madonna's not coming back because she'll come out with some old corny dance music record, and unless there's something, ain't nobody gonna touch it. Madonna's best stuff is behind her. Ain't no one touching it. Janet's touring, making the rounds, but I don't think there's anything that you're gonna necessarily go, "Oh, I gotta have that right now." That was a one-off. When was the last time Cher had a hit after that? How did that work after? That was a one-off. Plus, she had TV and film in her rear view. She was in the Mamma Mia's about ABBA, so she's been doing movies. She's been busy. Madonna ain't really competing, and Janet's not competing. It's a different intervals at this stage. And besides, you've had Taylor Swift, you've had Beyonce, you had Gaga, you've had Rihanna. Now, if you wanted to talk about somebody who could maybe make a comeback, you can make a case with Kelly Clarkson. So, so that's how I look at it. I remember when Believe came out 30 years ago. And I didn't think like who let Cher out to put that on. But again, it was a one off. It was a one off. Mm, sure. Yep. We're still waiting to see if anybody come back. I'll probably be a few more minutes before I bounce. I It's hard to answer that question. I mean, she died too young, and the way she passed. However, her heart wasn't in it. She'd been through a lot of pain. No, 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 no. She had already hit her heyday. You know how the Love Me came out in '79, so she left it was in '95. You talking about almost 20 years later? No, she didn't really. She did Broadway. She did theater. She was speaking out about the industry. No, no. She became more in the smooth jazz format. No, no. Drug use and liking the ladies. That's what I heard. The difference though is that Holiday was like more was a bigger artist of the two though. Hyman was more attractive with the two. But they dealt with racism in the business and the politics of being black women. And, yeah, she was. That was pretty much a lot. Nothing new under the sun. Most people in the industry swing, so it's not, just a fact. I mean, you mentioned artists. There's a lot that's pretty common. It's the ones that aren't that you go, wow. Because, well, it's an industry. And people got to, they got stuff they got to get done. Yeah, I had that poem. I had her books. But it was known about Billy. It was no big deal. Yep. Yeah, well, I don't know. That was before my time. So I don't know. I don't know all the gist of it. Maya Angelou was running street game too. So I don't, you got to remember, I don't know how much you know about Maya Angelou. She wasn't always pious in the sky and heads in the clouds writing poetically. Maya was pretty raw, so I don't know. I don't know. They were some rough customers back then, though. I know one thing, people catch feelings and they catch fire, they catch fists, so I don't know. I just go by their talent. And I heard things like most people did, you know. But so I don't know. And then when you say things about people, you gotta be cool that nothing will come back on you, and that you gotta be cool that you got respect for them, because it could be problematic. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't. I like them both for different reasons. They both creative minded soul sisters, and I'm just gonna leave it at that because I wasn't there for the whole haps. You never know. Yep. Sometimes you just gotta, go with the flow. So I don't know. Well, there's books on her. There was the movie Lady Sings the Blues with Diana Ross did a great job on. She was born in Baltimore, and she, you know, um, um, oh God, I can't think of the song. She wrote it though. About trees hanging. She was talking about it. She was talking about. She was on the FBI Most Wanted. They had a beat on her. You know, they were watching her, and she was considered an enemy. She was real. Strange Fruit. She wrote that, talking about black men being lynched. She wrote that. Read that. Google it. You want to learn? School's in session. There you go. Strange Fruit. She is in a song. Talked about it. There was a scene in Lady Sings the Blue was Donna Ross was down south with the white band and it saw black men being lynched. And so Google it. That way you can learn about her. And there's a lot of good resources about her career, her addictions, her different things, but she was very well respected. I remember Frank Sinatra, they loved Billie Holiday. And she is one of those artists, Barry Gordy loved her, one of those artists that's considered a standard. hmm She was the flip side of Ella Fitzgerald, who was considered perfect pitch. But, Lady Day had crazy respect. She's still a standard to this day. Mm-hmm. Flat singing, yeah. But it hit the soul. Yeah. So, I'd say 101. Anyway, I'm gonna call it a day, and I'll be back 50% on Saturday, definitely 100 on Sunday. So look for me possibly on Saturday, and I might try to sneak in a little bit early. That's all we got. So anyway, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. Till next time I catch you. Peace, and I'm out.